in New York urging US Army not to follow Trump. A few days ago, the Pentagon issued an order for all US generals to pull back, go to the United States, congregate in Virginia, not far from Washington, 20, 30 miles. And everybody started speculating, is the US going to war with Venezuela, China, or Russia? But what I find more astonishing is the United States President Donald Trump seemed not to be having a clue about the order. In fact, when he was asked, he started mumbling things like, yeah, everybody respect us and everybody knows I am the president of peace and they can come and meet our army. He thought other armies are coming to the US and meet the United States Army. And it took the Vice President, J.D. Vance, to step in and say things like, yeah, there's nothing unusual. And everybody knows it is very unusual and unprecedented to pull back all generals. So what is the matter? Is it a national security issue? Because we know very well the US has the means and the tools to conduct any gathering, any meeting virtually, but they choose to pull back. Is it a national security issue? Is the United States facing a threat? I don't think so, because it cannot wait. If it is a threat, it shouldn't be like next week. It should be immediately. So what is the matter? Are they going to war? If it's going to war, it cannot wait to, though they will go to war. But this is about the US Army and maybe new policies and rule, and maybe they will cut their funds and fire some generals. That's about them. And this US government needs some loyalty. We know very well that. And with what is happening now, striking Venezuela and others, maybe there are some generals that are not don't like this and they want their loyalty. So it's not about the war, but the war is coming, because we know very well since Donald Trump came back from the UK, things started changing. He changed his tones. When asked about Russia, he said things like, yeah, Russia is a paper tiger. And that's very harsh. But I liked what the Kremlin spokesperson said, Dmitry Peskov. He said, Russia is not a tiger. Russia is a bear. The United States, Donald Trump said again about Afghanistan, Bagram. He said to the Taliban, they should give back the base, Bagram base, to those who built it. He doesn't even know. Bagram base wasn't built by the United States. It was built by the Soviet, though the United States, make it better. So is he going to war with Russia? I don't think so. The United States wouldn't go to war with Russia. But they want Russia to be in this war for a very long time, as long as it takes. And they want the Europeans to buy their weapons and fight this war so that they can keep Russia when they will attack. The United States and Israel will attack Iran, that's for sure. So how about Venezuela? Is the United States going to attack Venezuela? Yes, highly likely, and very soon. Why and how? So the United States started preparing for this war for a very long time. And the reason is, we know very well, Venezuela is a very rich country in terms of resources. They have the largest oil reserve. They have gold and they have gas. And they're very close to China now. In fact, they sell over 80% of their crude to China. They buy their weapons from China. And in the last 2 decades, Venezuela borrowed from China like $60 billion. China has lent $60 billion to Venezuela. And the United States hates that when China gets energy from them and they close to China. They hate that. And again, we know very well that the United States is collapsing. They need money and they are in debt. So they need this. And also, Maduro, like his predecessor, Hugo Chavez, we know their stand. They're against imperialism. And having this kind of person next to you, they're afraid that it will be contagious. Others might start saying this and behaving like them too. We saw 2 days ago, the president of Colombia in New York urging U.S. Army not to follow Trump, but to follow humanity. So we're seeing this spreading across the world. So if they can change Maduro regime, and if they can have a puppet, they will have a lot of money. They can block China, and it will be very beneficial for the United States. So how are they going to do it? They started preparing this for a very long time. First of all, they started their propaganda against Nicolas Maduro, saying he belongs to some gangs, cartels, the Suns, or I don't know, and linked to the Mexican cartels, Sinaloa, sending warships, destroyers in the international water. They striked 11 Venezuelan with their boats, killed them. And we know very well that's a crime. That's a crime. Even if they have drugs, you can strike them and kill them like this. You can arrest them, put them in custody. That can be done, but you cannot kill them because they are carrying drugs. And it's not even verified. They can be carrying tuna. Who knows that? So it's something just made up. And we know very well that those who read and lived long to know about the Panama invasion in 1989. So the United States used the same pretext about drugs and invaded Panama. And you know very well, it took almost 27 to 30,000 troops for the United States to change the regime in Panama. And now it's very different because the world has changed and every country can buy drones and use them. So the United States came to this place, the international water, brought its destroyers and warships, and brought even 4,000 to 5,000 troops and waiting. It is very costly, and they cannot do this and go back. So it's a sign of vulnerability. So they need to strike. Are they going to invade? Not. I don't think they will invade Venezuela. It's going to be very bad because Venezuelans are well prepared. With the small means they have, they already mobilized civilians, and they started training them in guerrilla warfare. So it's not going to be invasion. I think is going to be like attacks with drone and missile striking. And now I think they're gathering intels so that they can find maybe Maduro's location and strike him. And they put bounty, they doubled the bounty on Maduro's head. You know, it was $25 million. Now it's $50 million. And not even terrorists have this bounty. So the United States doesn't recognize Maduro's regime. They think he's an usurper. And they think, yeah, it's a gang, and then they are coming to chase him. It's going to be much more harder to invade Venezuela because it's a very large area compared to Panama, and it's a very different terrain. And again, we don't know. The empire is collapsing. They might just take any silly action because we know very well the United States is how it's led now, who is leading the United States, and they are in a position just drowning. I said it before, they're drowning, and any step they take is going to be very bad for them, except like staying without taking any silly action. So maybe we'll just try to invade. Is going to be very harsh for them. And we heard what is being said by the foreign minister of Venezuela. He said that Venezuelan people love peace. That's why they fight and they defend it. And we are not afraid of your cannons, your barrels, and your lies. We are not frightened. So we're waiting for you, and then we defend ourselves. That's what he said. So I think Maduro will try to be very careful and already mobilized millions of Venezuelans to fight this. And everybody knows it's not about drug, it's not about gang or cartels. The United Nations and many reports said that the drugs is coming from Ecuador, from Colombia, from Canada. That's it. So it's not from Venezuela. Fighting Venezuela is about oil, gold, and gas, and especially blocking China, and also changing this regime that is not kneeling down to the United States.